Hello and welcome back to the back of the peloton. I am Araya du Peloton, or Tom, and I'm not at the back of the peloton. I'm quite clearly in my car, as you can see. So I'm making this video in my car, I think mainly because I'm a bit self-conscious about what I'm doing, what I'm planning on doing. I suppose my journey in endurance sports is similar to, I think, maybe a lot of people who are in the position that I am in. So, my journey in endurance sport started in my 20s. I was running, I was cycling, I got involved in triathlon, and I loved it. And for many years I took part in triathlon. I did running races, cycling races. I did a whole host of things. I suppose this is where I insert some pictures of me looking sporty and slim and active and things. And I suppose it culminated in probably 2016 for me, where as part of my training, as part of the things that I wanted to do, I went and I did a bucket list event for, I'm sure, many people. I went and did the L'Étape du Tour. For those who don't know, it's a sportif which takes part in France, obviously. It's part of the Tour de France. So each year they choose one of the big mountain stages from the tour, and you can go complete that as long as well as 40,000 other cyclists or whatever. And that was my big goal that year. And I, as part of that, I did extra cycle training. I got involved in crits and cycle races, and I was the best on the bike that I'd ever been. I was the best in triathlon that I'd ever been. I was recording some of my fastest times, and it was all going well, and I loved it. But the way I feel that I identify with a lot of people who may be into endurance sports, in their 20s, is that life happens. And I was so fortunate that obviously I've started a family, and I've got a big family, and it's its own journey, as many of you will know. But juggling a young family and endurance sport is something that's very, very difficult. And I quickly found out that there certainly was no way that I'd be able to continue competing in triathlons, not at a level that I would be happy with anyway, having been not good but average, I'd say. But what I didn't expect was the hits that it would take to all my sport. And I've had flashes here and there. My daughter was born in 2017, and I ran the 2018 London Marathon. I've done a couple of sportive events. I did the World Championship Sportive in 2019 when it was in Harrogate. I did the Tour de Yorkshire Sportive when they were still doing that, but it's been a few years from there. But I suppose my more recent journey, as my family's got bigger, has been filled with disappointment, I suppose, and quite low self-esteem and quite low motivation for me. The past couple of years I've had inconsistency in how much I've been able to train, how much I've been able to ride, and I've set a couple of big goals. I wanted to get back into some competitive time trials. There was a couple of big sportives that I entered, which I didn't end up doing. 2 years ago, I wanted to enter the London Revolution, which is, I don't think they do it anymore, but it's a sportif. It takes place over 2 days, and you essentially cycle round the whole of London. But I just wasn't fit enough to do it, and I didn't end up doing that. Last year, I entered more locally. I entered the Band of Climbers Hardest 100, which was in the Peak District, which luckily for me is not far away. And again, as I got closer and closer to the event, I just realized that I didn't have the fitness, I didn't have the training behind me to be able to do such events. And that really hit me motivationally. I went through, after that, I went through a period where I almost didn't really do much sport for 6 months, and and that led me to the position that I was towards the end of last year, and still to a certain extent now. Like, I'm the heaviest I have ever been, sort of, in terms of weight. I was the most unfit that I'd ever been, and I really wanted to change the way that I approach sport and approach fitness when I was thinking about it, quite often, as many people do in that New Year period. And I decided this year that I wasn't going to set any goals. And I suppose for anybody any sort of like coach, or people that do training, and anybody that has ever been involved in endurance sport, that sounds really weird. You're always told, like, pick a goal, make it achievable, break that down, what do you need to do? And that's how I've approached all my sport and all my endurance sport. It was, I want to chase this time, I want to do this event, I want to get this position or whatever, at whatever event. And I changed my outlook, and essentially I wanted to get back to enjoying myself. Because what I found was, through these missed events and through these missed targets, alongside the training that I was doing, or the sport I was doing, came a lot of guilt that I had this thing that I was going to do that I hadn't been doing enough for. And instead of it making me feel good, I felt bad, I felt guilty, I felt, I don't know, I was demotivated even when I was training about the goals that I wanted to achieve. And I decided that this year I just want to enjoy it again. I just want to enjoy running or cycling and take part in that side of the sport, that side of exercise, which has always just come naturally as I've been doing it, but enjoying it. I've never done sport to enjoy it. There's always been a competitive aspect to that. It's something which I do enjoy and I need, and I'm getting that still. But I suppose my motivation now has changed. So this year I've not entered any events. This year I've not set any goals. This year my aim is to just get on my bike, get running, and enjoy it again. And part of that, and part of what I've wanted to do for a long time, is this. I've always wanted to share my experience. For those who have maybe been to this channel before, you can see that I've done Zwift live streams, and and for those who do maybe follow me on social media already, I've done some podcasting, some content creation. I try to engage in the sport of cycling, mostly in a hopefully a fun way, and hopefully in an entertaining way. I mean, it's probably not very entertaining, but I do try to do that. And this is something I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to do this kind of content where it's just me and my sporting goals, but because of the lack of consistency, the lack of motivation, and the lack of time, it's not something that I felt that I could do. So hopefully I'll be able to this time. Hopefully I'll be able to take you along for this journey and share what it is. So stay tuned, I guess. If you've got this far into the video and you're interested, obviously there's a big subscribe button down there. Give me a like, put a comment, your goals, what you want to achieve, or anything that you found difficult about training, or your motivation and how you overcame that. I think that would be really helpful for me and hopefully others. But yeah, please do follow me along on this journey. I'm not sure where it'll go. I'm not sure how much content I'll produce, but I'll try. I'm hopeful for at least something every week, a little update on how I'm doing or what I've been doing, and from there. And yeah, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for hopefully joining me on my journey. I'll see you soon.